What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married at First Sight, Season 19, Episode 10, Retreat and Defeat. So, this is the episode of the couples retreat, and Rhonda and Pat will not be joining everybody at the couples retreat because Rhonda has some type of family reunion or family function that her and Pat are going to be attending instead of going to the retreat. So, when the retreat begins, it is 18 days until decision day. So things are getting kind of hectic right now. So Megan and Derek made it a point to be the first to arrive at the mansion because they want to pick the best room. And their excuse is because Megan is pregnant and she will be napping a lot. And I'm like, just say you want the best room because you want the best room. It's got nothing to do with Megan and her 5-minute-old fetus. Her fetus has no, or her embryo, or whatever you want to call it, that has no idea where Megan is sleeping. It's getting all of its needs met inside of her body. So it could care less if she's sleeping in the best room or if she's sleeping in a closet. So stop using Megan's pregnancy as an excuse to have the best room. So everybody arrives pretty soon. The men and the women are separated. The women are inside the mansion. The men go outside to play. Is it called hacky sack? I'm not sure what that game is called. Or is it called cornhole? I don't even know what it's called. So the guys are asking Will if he has told Britney that he loves her yet. And Will says no. So then Will goes into this long dissertation about the different types of love, but he himself is not in love with Britney, but he does have love for Britney. And I'm pretty sure none of these guys, even the ones that have already said, I love you to their wives, are in love with their wives. I don't believe it. Is it possible to fall in love in a very short amount of time with someone? Probably. I'm not going to count that out for anybody. But this group of people, I don't think anybody has fallen in love with anybody. So the fact that some of them want to act like they've said I love you because they're already in love, I don't believe it. I think Will is the only one that's willing to be honest. So back inside the mansion, Jaylen is telling the women that Josh wants to find something that will replace the sense of community that he gets from festivals. I'm surprised that we're still talking about Josh and Burning Man and his love of festivals. I'm surprised that it's taken a hold of their relationship like this. This is just astonishing to me. So I think she even talks to her mother about it. Her mom pulls her to the side so they can have like a deeper conversation about it. And her mom, I think, gave some pretty good advice. What did she say? I think the mom said something like, well, he has to his need to find this sense of community. He's still trying to figure out like where else he can find it. If he can't go to Running Man, I guess he's struggling with trying to figure out where else can he find this sense of community. I think that's what the mom was trying to say. But I'm so surprised that him not going to Burning Man is affecting his relationship like this. So all the couples now are outside and they're going around and they're talking about how they feel about the other. And when it came time for Chad to talk about how he feels with Belinda, or how he feels about Belinda, he said it wasn't even about so much as what he said. It was just about his facial expressions and his eye contact to Belinda. That's what really got me. For some reason, when he was talking to Belinda and telling Belinda how she makes him feel and how he feels so deeply for her, I kind of got emotional. I got, proclaimed or something and I was looking at this and I'm trying to figure out like, Cookie, like, why are you feeling this way? Because I think that Chad is a love bomber. And I think that he uses his sense of love as sort of like manipulation in a way. But whenever at this particular moment, whenever he was talking to Belinda and telling Belinda how much she means to him, I kind of got emotional. And I think it had a lot to do with his eye contact because I think that Chad has really pretty eyes. And so like when he makes eye contact with her, like I can feel something there that's like kind of real and sincere. I don't know. Even Jaylen, Belinda's daughter, even she got emotional when she was listening to Chad. So after dinner, Jaylen and Josh talk about community. So they're in their bedroom now, and they're bringing up this whole community thing. Jaylen feels like the sense of community that Josh is looking for, he can find it within her, because she thinks that she knows how to bring people together. So if he's looking for that, she can provide that for him. She just doesn't understand why he doesn't see that. And like she could be his replacement, I guess, for Running Man. He says that he hasn't seen that in her yet. He hasn't seen her create community. I guess, y'all, I was so lost with this whole discussion about community. At some point, I was like, what are we really talking about now? So Josh tells her, well, I haven't really seen you do anything to show me that you can create community. So she gave her spin class as an example. She was like, well, for example, my spin class is an environment of community. And Josh tells us in his confessional, he says that growing up, he wasn't allowed to play sports, or he wasn't able to play sports. So the only sense of community that he's ever known in his life is Burning Man. And that's why Burning Man is so important to him. So it's important for her, it's important for Jaylen, that he sees that she does know how to create community. He said that, we're still learning each other. I'm still figuring you out. And so I'm still trying to learn all of that about you. And I guess she got frustrated that he hasn't seen it already, because she thinks that after 6 weeks of them being together, he should have already seen something. So the conversation after that goes left. He tells her, as he's talking, as he's explaining himself, like why he has not seen this sense of community in her yet, as he's trying to explain himself, she does jump in and she does interrupt him. And she was like, I can't believe that you don't see, the qualities that I possess. And then he got upset with her for cutting him off. And he told her, he's like, you're cutting me off again. She got even more frustrated and she started crying, because she's like, you're telling me that I'm cutting you off, but you're not listening to what I'm saying. I can't believe that, you don't see these positive qualities that I have. And so as she's going on and on and on and on about how he hasn't noticed all of these wonderful things about her, how she's able to create community and what a great person she is, and how he doesn't acknowledge that verbally, he finally got it, I guess. And then he began to shower her with compliments and telling her that, you're a great friend, you're a great daughter. I do see this, you know how to bring people together. I've seen it in how you bring your family together. So he starts telling her all the things that he thinks that she wants to hear. Now remember, Josh has a problem with lying. He has a problem with saying things just to appease the other person. So I don't know if he's actually saying these things or if he's just saying these things to make her happy. So they finally both agree, after she heard what she wanted to hear from him, they finally both agree to just move forward. Okay, back to Will and Britney. So Will and Britney are playing pickleball with Derek and Megan. And I think at some point you can tell that the producers prompted them to stop the game and start talking about their relationships, because it just made no sense that they're playing pickleball and all of a sudden they stop playing and then they start talking about their relationship and where they're at in their marriages. So they stop playing and the question comes up about what can your partner fix about themselves to help improve the relationship. So Will said that there's really nothing about Britney that bothers him. And then, like, basically, she's got nothing to fix. Whatever the issues are, it's cool. I can deal with it. I can handle it. No biggie. Britney actually got upset that he wasn't pointing out to her what flaws she can fix about herself. She actually got upset about that. And as her and Will are going back and forth, Megan was like, hey guys, let's just go back to the game. And Britt was like, no, hold on a minute, because she still wanted to go back and forth with Will. So it got really awkward for Pickleball, Ken and Barbie. It got really awkward for them because they're just standing there, don't know what to do with themselves while they're watching this other couple argue across the net. So finally, Will said, after Britney kept on pushing him and pushing him, like, I can't believe you find nothing wrong with me. And I think for her, she probably feels like if he can't pick out one flaw that I can fix about myself, it's like she's not important enough for him to figure out What is it about Britney that she needs to fix that could make us better? So she feels like, maybe he doesn't like me that much because he's not really paying attention to me and my flaws and what kind of person I am. So finally, after he got cornered, Will says, well, like this morning, for example, yeah, I could tell that you were in a bad mood. And so I had to figure out a way to navigate around you because you were in this really foul mood. And the problem with Britney when he said that was like, why didn't you bring that up at the time? And it wasn't important enough for him to bring it up because he was like, okay, she's in a bad mood. Eventually she's gonna, snap out of it and we'll go back to, whatever, go about our day. To him, it's like, well, it is what it is. It's no big deal. So then, because of the fact that she kept on pushing him and was forcing him to give her an answer, now Will is frustrated. And so she's looking at him and she was like, are you irritated? And I was like, girl, what the hell do you think? You pressured this man to say something. He said it. And now you're like, oh, you seem irritated. You made him irritated, Britney. You created this negative energy now. Instead of just letting bygones be bygones, because let me tell you something. What I would do if I was Britney in that situation, of course, inside, I would think, wow, I know he's got to have noticed something about me that I can change, for me to be more of what he's looking for, or for us to make this relationship better. There's got to be something that he's realized that he doesn't like about me. But instead of verbalizing it, because if I'm asking him and he's not willing to tell me or doesn't want to tell me or can't tell me, you know what I would do? I would use that against him. I would say, okay, keep that in mind that I'm perfect. You can't point anything out about me that should be fixed. Keep that in mind. Keep that same damn energy, because in the future, if you ever say to me, oh, but you should have been like this, or you should have done that, or I wish that you wouldn't do this, or you wouldn't be like that, I'm going to bring it up. Wait a minute. Hold up, cowboy. Remember you said that I was perfect when we were playing pickleball that day? You said there was nothing about me that needed to be fixed. So shut it. Hush your mouth. I'm perfect. That's what I would have done. But no, Britney is super sensitive. She internalizes everything that this man says. And so it really affected her that he couldn't pick out one single flaw. And when she finally pushed him to say something, she got irritated because he got irritated. Britney's young. And this is the reason why I don't like it when Married at First Sight has people that are still in their 20s. I think you have to be a minimum of 30 or 35 before you get on this show. Not to say that older people know how to navigate relationships and they're better at relationships, but I think the issues would be a lot more how they solve issues or how they approach issues because of the life experience would be a lot more interesting. And I think a lot of us could learn from that a lot more than watching a 20-something-year-old trying to figure themselves out and trying to figure out their relationships when they haven't had that much life experience. And I don't think Britney has had enough long-term relationship experience. I think she's had boyfriends here and there, but I don't think she's had enough long-term relationship experience. And here she is jumping into a marriage head first. And this is what we get. We get pouty, emotional Britney. So now the game has been ruined. No one wants to continue playing pickleball. And Megan suggests that she goes for a walk with Britney. So Britney tells Megan that Will really doesn't know how to express himself. He doesn't really communicate a lot about his feelings. And Megan basically agreed that he needs to learn how to communicate better. Will is off with Derek, and Derek is basically telling Will, hey, just whatever the hell she wants, just give it to her. If she wants you to express yourself more, express yourself more. Happy wife, happy life. Just go ahead and do it. Basically, in a nutshell, that's what Derek tells Will. And Will is the kind of person that has yet to learn that, because I don't think he's had a lot of long-term relationship experience. Because it's always like the older men who've been in long-term relationships or long marriages that I've figured out, happy wife, happy life. Just give your wife whatever the hell she wants, and you'll be a much happier husband. It's the younger people that have to prove themselves all the time. They have to prove that they're right. They have to prove that they know better. They have to prove that their way is the only way. So Megan tells Brady that the problem is Will, and which is fine, because Will has, of course, he's got things that he needs to work on. His communication needs to be a whole lot better. I've always said that he has a way of talking that's kind of condescending, or I guess according to Britney, he doesn't really communicate what he's feeling or what he's thinking very well. But no one points out what Britney needs to fix. Like, don't, it's hard to tell somebody not to be so sensitive because people are going to feel how they feel, but don't be so damn sensitive, and don't internalize everything that he's saying, and don't be so emotional and overly sensitive about every little thing. Like, try to find a way to make it work for you. Like I said, if you would have said, oh, you're fine, you're perfect, there's nothing I want to change about you, I'm telling you, I would have told that man, remember that y'all got this on. I would have looked at production and said, you got this, send me this tape, because I'm going to bring this up to him if he ever tells me that he wants me to change something about myself, because he said I was perfect. So then later on, she's hanging out with Belinda and Jaylen, and she brings up again how Will doesn't know how to express himself, so on and so forth. And she's all emotional, she's crying, and Belinda tells her, y'all just met. Y'all don't really know each other. You kind of have to meet him where he's at for now, just like he has to meet you where you're at for now. Y'all are beginning to learn each other. So show him some grace. And likewise, definitely Will should show her some grace. He needs to also learn that, hey, this girl is really, really sensitive, and I got to watch what I say to her and how I say it. And she needs to also understand with him that, okay, he's probably just not used to expressing himself as much as I would like for him to. So it's just a process of learning each other. But if you know that y'all like each other and you see potential in one another, even though people keep talking about don't marry potential, but if there's that seed there that's been planted of this could be something really beautiful between us, then just work at it. And listen to your partner. It's not necessarily like you just have to come to that conclusion. I'm just not his person. And that's the conclusion that Britney came to. I'm probably just not his person. No, y'all are probably just getting to figure each other out. It's only been 6 weeks. What's her name's embryo is probably older than y'all's relationship right now. So Jaylen says to her piece of advice was, yeah, he's just not doing enough. Okay, this is another young person talking. He's just not doing enough. He hasn't figured her out, just like she clearly hasn't figured him out. It's not that he's not doing it. He doesn't know what to do yet to make her happy. Later on, Will and Britney are in their bedroom and they're talking, and Will apologizes. Okay, so he knows enough to do that. So he apologized, and the look on his face when he saw her, to me, like he was really concerned about Britney and how she was feeling. And he does acknowledge that he should have asked her what was wrong with her earlier in the morning when he clearly saw that she was in a bad mood. He should have asked her what was wrong. He acknowledged that. Now he's learned his lesson. So when she started crying, what does he do? He pulled her closer to him and they continued to talk. Now, unfortunately, this was the foundation of their next falling out. So he pulls her closer to him. And as they're talking, she was like asking him, like, what is it about you or what's gone on in your life that makes it difficult for you to express yourself? And then she asked him, do you feel like we have a connection? And unfortunately, Will, because he's super duper honest, he says, yes, but I think it could be stronger. No, did he even say yes? She asked him if there was a connection. He said yes, but it could be stronger. She didn't hear the yes. People like Britney who are this emotional and who are so like in their head, she didn't hear the yes. All she heard was our connection could be stronger. So in her mind, that equates to we have no connection at all. He has no connection with me at all. And I'm thinking that what he's trying to tell her, I feel a connection with you, but of course it could be stronger. And I'm thinking, and why could it be stronger? Because y'all are still strangers to each other. Y'all are still trying to learn each other. So therefore, there's room for this to grow. There's room for this connection to get stronger. All of them, even the people that have already said I love you, even people like Derek and Chad, who said that they know exactly what they're going to say on decision day. They're going to say hell to the yes, I want to stay married. Even them with their own wives, those connections can be stronger as well. So, You're in the same boat as everybody else, Brittany. Brittany seems to think that her and Will are lagging in last place compared to the other couples. Okay. Now, I think also the issue with Brittany and Jaylen, and to a certain degree, Megan, the reason why they're kind of struggling in their relationships is because they've already slept with these men. And I think with women, I'm generalizing here. There's an exception to every rule. It's just a generalization. I think that with a lot of women, once you give your body to a man, that emotional connection is like almost automatic. And so everything that happens afterward, you have a certain expectation from this man. You're expecting something from him. You're expecting a whole lot more than you would expect if y'all had never had sex at all. So Brittany, as sensitive as she is, and her already sleeping with Will and then dealing with him rejecting her after their first round of intimacy, he rejected her. Right. And then after that, she was begging for it. Then he finally gave in to her. So now I guess they're intimate regularly. This is also causing her to feel strong, these really strong emotions for him. And she feels like he's not living up to her expectations. On the flip side, I think with the men, yes, they've slept with these women. But to them, it's like the sex doesn't necessarily equate an emotional connection. It's like, oh, thank God, I'm married and my wife was wanting to sleep with me. Thank God that's happening. But it's not creating this deep, deep emotional attachment. Maybe with Derek, he is a little bit more emotionally attached to Megan because they're having a baby together. Megan is carrying his child. But for Josh and for Will, I don't think them being intimate with their wives is making that big of a difference. But the women are very emotionally involved now with these men. So when he told her that, when he said that the connection could be stronger, she didn't like that. So she asked him what's missing. And he couldn't verbalize that. He couldn't tell her exactly what was missing to make it stronger. And I wish that as much as Will loves to talk, I wish he would have said what's going to make it stronger is us getting to know each other better. I think that was a very simple answer. I don't know why he didn't say that to her. He could have just said, like, right now, we're just kind of getting to know each other. So it's not that strong right now. I feel a connection with you. But I think that as we get to spend more time together and as we get to know each other better, it's definitely going to grow. That was such a simple answer. But Will is the kind of person, he feels like he has to be 100% honest with exactly how he's feeling. And if he's not feeling it, he's not going to say it because he doesn't want to come off as fake or whatever. But sometimes you got to fake it to make it because it is true. As you get to know each other, most likely you will have a stronger connection. It doesn't mean that there's going to be a happily ever after. It just means that there's going to be a stronger connection. So it's time for dinner. Everybody's sitting around the dinner table and they're talking about communication and how to make communication better with your partner. So when it comes to Will and Brittany's turn, Will talks about how they were having a conversation earlier. Brittany asked him if there's a connection between them. And Will acknowledged in front of all these people, he said that I told her, yes, but it could be stronger. And I know that I could have said it better. He acknowledged that. He says, I should have said it in a way for her to understand exactly where I was coming from. I didn't do a good job in expressing myself. He said that. He says, I could have done it better for her to feel more secure. He said that. But even after him saying that, I messed up. I made a boo-boo. I know how I could have done it better. Megan and Jaylen still piled up on him. And they're like, well, yeah, you should have said this and you should have said it like that. And as women, this is what we want to hear. And I'm like, why can't you just acknowledge the fact that this man knew where he messed up? And he knows how he knows how to fix it and how he's going to be better next time. And let's move on to the next couple. Why do we have to sit here and be like, okay, Will, but you could have done it like this. You should have said it like that. This is what she wanted to hear. This is how women take it. First of all, we all know that men and women do speak different languages. And he knows enough to know that he didn't say it right the first time around. He knows enough to know that. And he acknowledged that. Why do y'all have to I felt like it was doing Britney a disservice. You know what? In a way, this is what I'm really trying to say. Megan and Jaylen are haters. That's what I'm really trying to say. That's what I'm really trying to get at. I think they're haters. And the reason why I say that, maybe not haters in the sense of the word hater, maybe that's a little bit too strong, but because they're going through their issues, okay, with their men, because, Josh is a liar, okay, and Jaylen is still trying to process all of that. and figure out how she's going to continue to avoid Burning Man for the rest of her life, how she's going to continue to have to come up with excuses to not join him in Burning Man, and how this man does not see a sense of community. Whatever he's missing from Burning Man, he's not going to find it in her. So she's still trying to process all of that. So now she wants to dogpile on Will to make Britney feel bad. Because them telling Will, well, Will, yeah, you really did it wrong. You did it so wrong, and you could have done this and you could have done that. How do you think Britney is feeling? Y'all are basically enforcing all the doubts that she already has about this relationship instead of helping Britney understand that, look, you got a great guy here. He knows what he did wrong. He knows he could have said it better. The way he said it really didn't express how he really feels. He's not counting y'all out. He's not thinking to himself like, okay, this is a done deal. There's no connection between us. It's just him understand that I could have said it better, because she wants to understand and she wants to be reaffirmed that there is a connection between them. And he admitted that there is. He just said it all wrong. And he admitted that he said it wrong. So let's focus on the fact that he admitted that he was wrong and that he apologized. Let's focus on that. Let's build them up and let Britney realize you do have a great guy here, because look, he noticed that he didn't say it in a way that would satisfy you and that he's going to do better next time. But they didn't do that. They kept on harping on what he didn't do. Made her feel bad. She starts crying. Next thing you know, she left the damn table. And now we're at this conundrum. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that. Megan, worry about your baby and whether or not you're going to stay with him. And Jaylen, figure out why your husband's a liar, why he's lying about unnecessary things, because it's looking very pathological to me. Now, as far as it goes with Rhonda and Pat, Rhonda's complaining about something, y'all. Rhonda is up here complaining about something. I don't know what the hell she was talking about. She's telling us how her and Pat were at the store, and Pat told her that he had bought tickets for some event for the both of them, and she got upset with him because he didn't check with her first, as far as like her availability, like, you know, what days does she have available to attend this event. So then she has suggested to him they should share calendars, so that they can know what's going on with each other when it comes to planning stuff. And then she said that he just walked away after she talked about sharing calendars. He just got up and left and went to the register or went to go buy something or whatever. He walked away. So now she's really upset about that. This man did a good gesture by offering to buy tickets for an event for both of you to enjoy. And your whole thing is, oh, you didn't check with me first about when I'm available. What? Like, what are you going to be are you going to be performing brain surgery on a patient or something? Like, whatever you got going on, it couldn't be moved. Like, the fact that this couples retreat, y'all, I understand the whole thing about family and how family is important, but I'm pretty sure her family would have understood if they skipped out on the reunion and went to the retreat. Or if I know, okay, I'm not even going to say that they could have rescheduled the reunion, because I'm pretty sure everybody else had to reschedule or had to rearrange their schedules to attend this. But it would have been just fine if Rhonda and Pat missed this particular reunion to go to the retreat, because it seems like they need a lot of work in their relationship, because Rhonda's complaining every 5 minutes about this man, and the retreat could have probably helped them or put them on the right path to fixing these problems. But whatever. I don't know what else to say. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.